Hello, I'm Luke Hatfield. I'm joined by Lewis Cox. We're here at the Montgomery Waters Meadow for our final season review video.
It's been a long week.
It's been a long week.
My voice is ready for a break.
Not sure if you can pick that up, but we're getting booed by a chorus of children. Booed? I don't know. I'm hearing boos.
It's probably understandable given the tripe that we speak, isn't it?
It is. We're here talking management today.
I know how the players feel now.
Exactly. Yeah, talking management, Lewis. It was a story of the season, really.
Wow. Yeah.
We'll start with the big story being that Steve Cottrell comes in, changes things at Town. They're on the way up and then struck down by coronavirus, and I mean was 2 spells in hospital.
Yeah, intensive care.
Intensive care. Did come back before the end of the season, albeit in the directors' seats. We certainly did. We're in the dugout now. He wasn't here, but I'm sure he's raring to get back in next season.
Truly an unbelievable story. Magnificent. I mean, I don't want to say turn it into a Hollywood script. That sounds a bit Wrexham, doesn't it? But yeah, you couldn't write it really. The months he had here when he took over from late November to late December, a lot went into that. Yeah. I mean, I don't just mean 7 league games. I think 2 cup games. Of course, unbeaten in those 7 with 4 wins, but a lot went into it, like logistics, training ground, training, getting stuff up to scratch. I don't think it's wrong in saying probably, he works 24/7. Yeah, obviously when he weren't sleeping, he was sorting stuff out here. He was in a hotel here. The booze are growing.
Yeah, they are.
He gave everything here when he moved in to get Town from second bottom, where they took over, out of the drop zone. I think it was 5 points adrift. He managed it. Unbelievable wins we spoke about yesterday. The 1-0s away. Yeah. I remember those 3 1-0 wins at the top 4 were priced at 2,000 to 1. It was a staggering achievement. Yeah, and then they just won here, hadn't they, after Christmas, 1-0 against Blackpool. Fans are in. It was the last game. Fans are in. And yeah, and that was it. We didn't see him again.
No.
Crazy. I mean, I remember the interview down the tunnel, because it was just before the January transfer window opened, and it was just before Pennington and Chapman signed on loan. Obviously, huge signings that he'd worked and got secured prior to January. And I remember him saying, something along the lines of, things are to come, things are happening, things, there'll be new, watch this space kind of thing. And then obviously the news happened. I mean, it was murmured because I think I'm right in saying Matt Miller missed that game. I think he was a COVID issue. So there was murmurs of it. That was really the first time it had happened to Town in terms of having players missing. Obviously there'd been breakouts at other clubs who'd missed games, but Town had been okay. Miller missed that game, and then the next thing you're hearing is there's a few more. Then it's, before you know it, it's wide outbreak in terms of the playing squad and staff, and obviously Steve as well. Awful, really. Awful news. Awful to report on. Awful for everyone involved. Really difficult. I think 3 weeks. We've had a game until they returned in the FA Cup at Southampton, but obviously by this point, I mean, I think I'm right in saying by this point the manager's in hospital. Yeah, because we'd done press with obviously his assistant Aaron Wilbraham before that Southampton game, and the new, he told us the news about the manager being in intensive care that first weekend. Yeah, and you kind of, it really put it into perspective, to be honest. It really, really made you think. I mean, it really made you think, why are we even playing this Southampton game, to be truthfully honest. Like, it was crazy. Obviously, it was a massive game for the club, FA Cup third round tie that had got delayed. But, I suppose the show had to go on. Yeah. And the amazing story, which we'll get into, I suppose, is the manager calling the shots. Yeah. Keeping the club up.
Via Bluetooth speaker.
They'd already got safe. They'd already got out of the bottom 4, but, yeah, keeping them up, keeping them safe. From his hospital bed, and then from his home in Bristol. Unbelievable, really. Unbelievable, and far above the what's expected in the position. Everyone would have been totally understandable if he'd have not cut ties, but if he'd have just parked the job. Got healthy, obviously, because everyone was deeply worried, fans included, obviously. But no, yeah, it's not in his nature. Clearly,
No.
you know, we'd only knew him for a month, but we knew already that, you know, it doesn't seem to be in his kind of nature. And everything you hear from, you know, people at his previous clubs, you know, how passionate, involved, intense he is. We saw all of that, and obviously it came to fruition when he led Town to safety from 100 miles away or so.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, no other story like it this season. And I mean, the job he's done really is transformative, because you looked at that team under Ricketts, and I tell you what, when you were looking at the relegation places, Shrewsbury Town, you could have quite easily seen them there come the end of the season.
Yeah, 1 win in 12 or 13 possibly. Certainly 1 win in 12. Didn't score 9 points from those 12. They were really struggling. I think only Burton below them. And obviously Burton changed their managers and went on a similar inspirational run, to be fair. Got safe, but yeah, they were heading one way. Like I think, again, I've reported this, and I think fans would agree. We were quite surprised by how long it went on under Ricketts, because of the perilous position the club were in. Throughout, you know, from September through till late November, it was in the end. Obviously, after that MK Dons draw, Town were just throwing leads away. They were beating Swindon 3-1 here, who was struggling. It ended 3-3. They were winning at MK Dons, who were struggling 2-0. Finished 2-2. You know, and all right, they're only draws, but you can't be chucking away 2-goal leads if you don't win games. They just couldn't win, and obviously the manager came in and things changed dramatically. They stopped conceding. They started winning 1-0. They started being hard to beat, working harder, looking fitter, being far more organised. Obviously the shape changed. A lot changed, but that's in that first month alone. And then to do what they did without the manager here, because I wrote several times, and I still to this day, and I think anyone in football would tell you, like, not having the manager for any length of time, especially 4 months, you know, even though they'd done a lot of the work in that month, that could have quickly unravelled. And they could have not picked up, they could have not won another game quite easily, or they could have picked up very few points and been sucked right back into it. But they were never sucked back into it. No, never. That sort of a restart period of late Jan, early Feb, when obviously new signings were bedded in, Albetta arrived, Chapman was settling. Some of the wins are outrageous. I mean, they beat Peterborough here, as we said yesterday, automatic promotion. Beat Sunderland here. Sunderland, all right, they haven't gone up, but they barely lost any games all season. They drew loads, but beat Sunderland, amazing. Draw here against Hull, which they were leading in. Some unbelievable and important wins away. Important away wins at rivals: Swindon, Burton, who were flying, Rochdale, where Town never win, ended a 2-decade hoodoo. Some brilliant wins. It was missing the fans, and obviously it was missing the inspirational leader, the gaffer, who was conducting all the prep, all the training, all the pre-match prep, all the team talks, all the tactics, subs, via the phone, to Aaron Wilbraham's AirPods. It was quite staggering. And in case we forget about it, we'll get onto Wilbraham, because his role was immense. But yeah, full credit, the manager, what an unbelievable job. Probably, as was sort of mooted towards the end of the season, you could make a strong case for manager of the season, couldn't you, really? Or a special award or something. I mean, obviously it tailed off at the end when I think Town only won 1 of 10 or something, the one that got them mathematically safe at Blackpool. But the hard work had been done, to be honest. Spent so much physical and emotional turmoil and energy to get him doing what they'd done. The job had been done. Yeah, credit to, I can't really speak highly enough of the players as well as the management staff for doing what they did, to be honest. It was quite amazing to witness. It
was, and like you said, credit to Aaron Wilbraham, David Longwell. Fantastic job from them, you know, stepping in and taking a hold of the match day duties, so to speak, you know, whilst the game's going on.
Training every day.
Exactly, and now next season things are looking up. I mean, there are people looking at Shrewsbury Town side. They've seen what they've done since Cottrell's come in. Hopefully he'll be back refreshed, fully ready to go for next season. Hopefully there'll be fans back in, 100% fans, hopefully. Could be a special season.
I think that's the hope. I don't think Steve Cottrell would have come in last November if it was like, well, scrape to safety and then try and scrape to safety again. You know, I don't think it works like that. I think I will appreciate there's, I don't want to say limitations here, but you know, they're not the league's big spenders, so you know, by right of budget shouldn't be in the playoffs. But
I mean, teams like Sheffield Wednesday will be here next season.
Oh, massive. The League One looks great next season. To be fair, it does. You know, good clubs coming up like Cheltenham, Bolton. See Morecambe for the first time, which will be an interesting one via the playoffs. They've just lost their manager, haven't they? Derek Adams, who got them up and has left. Big clubs. Sheffield Wednesday is an interesting, exciting one. Wickham coming back down. Wickham, are they similar to Shrewsbury? You know, if Wickham can go up and have a season in the Championship, why can't Town? You know, Burton done it. However many other smaller clubs have done it. Yeovil, Colchester. You know, Town nearly did it, didn't they, a few years ago? You know, extra time in the playoffs. Yes, everything went right that season in terms of Henderson, Godfrey, you know, many others, Nolan. But you know, that can happen. You know, in Cottrell they've got a manager who's been there, seen it, done it. You know, got the T-shirt. He's been as successful as you can at this level. Won promotions, I think, with 3 clubs. I think I'm right in saying. Created records with Bristol City here. Played incredible football. Yes, Bristol City probably had bigger spending power than Town, I'm sure. But it feels like he had a long time out of the game, so he's come back and he's been able to pick a job he wanted. Had offers, turned offers down. Has decided on this. Done part 1 of the project, really, which was keeping them up. Going into a 7th season in a row at this division now, which is quite an achievement, quite a feat. But they've consolidated now. You know, they're probably certainly fans fed up with we'll just be, you know, battlers to avoid the drop. They now feel they've got a high profile, high caliber manager who'll be able to attract players. Like he was able to attract, I suppose, Chapman and Pennington to start with. David Davis. Ogbetta's, I suppose, different because he's from an academy. But he's a manager of 25 years. Contacts, unbelievable range of contacts, surely. The person who works very closely with, Keith Burt, he's head of recruitment. Similar experience, similar high caliber jobs, clubs, contacts. It promises to be a really exciting, busy summer. Certainly the summer busying in the, as we get to the sort of middle and latter points of June, ready for when the players come back, be that late June, early July, usually into July is a friendly start, and pre-season training, the squad will look different. We talked about all the players that have been let go. It'll probably be a smaller squad than it was, but you still got to fill those gaps. You know, big positions to fill in, goal, up front, wing backs. But there's a core there of players. You know, hopefully they don't lose any of the good ones. But if they can add to with sprinkling more quality, you've really got to think that when they were having a push under Cottrell when he was in hospital, and they got up to the 15th, 16th. I know they were 17th for ages, obviously, but they got to a point where they'd won games and they were like just 9 points off the playoffs. Fans were getting giddy, carried away, putting bets on for the playoffs. 9 points. They only had to have another couple of results go their way. It just shows what can be achieved. You know, you have a good start to the season, you're looking at pushing to the top half, aren't you? And then you're looking at pushing to the edge of the playoffs. I think Cottrell could achieve that here, I really do. And obviously that'll be shaped. You know, ask me the same question come August, the end of the transfer window, we'll see. But really exciting period, and hopefully era for the club under this manager. And it feels like his reign and tenure here hasn't properly begun in a strange way, although it has, and what he achieved is unbelievable while he was away. But to have him here properly as manager will be a great experience for everyone, hopefully himself and the fans. Really looking forward to it. Fingers crossed we have a good season at the Meadow next year. That does us for all our season reviews this week. We hope you've enjoyed them. You know where to go for all your latest Shrewsbury Town news. Another word for Aaron Wilbraham, because you touched on him, but just deserves immense credit. This time last year he was a player. So he comes into his first assistant manager role, and then he's essentially thrust in as standing boss for 4 months. Credit, what an inspired number 2 appointment he was, I suppose, and David Longwell assisting them ably as well, a crucial part in that. But they deserve immense credit as well, because as Aaron Wilbraham said a couple of times, to have a manager missing for 1 day, 2 days is one thing, but for months and months, yeah, amazing. So, credit to all of them.
Yeah, fantastic work from them. You know where to go for all your latest Shrewsbury Town news, shropshirestart.com.